All right, well, we got a couple of things to talk about this week. The Vikings have been struggling on defense. They've tried out a few defensive ends. Will it pay dividends? We're playing Philadelphia. Who knows? Our defense has been leaky. Is it because Everson Griffin has been out dealing with his personal issues? Is it because of injuries? Is it just because it's early in the year? I don't know. But, you know, Zimmer's going to get that baby fixed. And the other thing, too, to keep in mind is Terrence Newman retired as now a defensive backs coach for the Vikings. He was an experienced veteran, 39, 40 years old, knew how to run that defense, what to call, how to do it. And now you have some young guys. You got Mike Hughes, you got Mackenzie Alexander. Some of the other guys haven't played. Anthony Harris hasn't played. The Iloka, George, I'm not sure I'm saying the name right, but George Iloka is a safety. Zimmer says, well, he'll play. I like the safeties I've got. I've liked Harrison Smith and Andrew Sendejo. So George has that veteran experience. Maybe they should consider him a nickelback or get that veteran presence. He's got, I think, 6 years in the league, 6, 7, 8 years in the league. He knows what he's doing. Maybe instead of saying, well, once a safety, always a safety, maybe adjust him a little bit. A veteran like that should be able to make the adjustment, and then you have more experienced people in the backfield. And I think that's partly what's killing us. And the other thing is, last week the Rams, let's give credit where credit is due. They had a great game plan. I think they outsmarted us in some of those coverages and got the running back or the receiver on our Anthony Barr. They pre-made those plays. They said quick throwouts, quick strike, do this confusion in this motion. One thing one of Stephen Weverly said, our defensive lineman, is they did constant motion. So they're motioning, so we weren't always prepared for the motioning. So, yeah, maybe we got out coached. The Rams are a great team. It wasn't a matter of we lost the game, they won it. That's my 2 cents worth. But the Eagles, we know they've been struggling, sort of struggling like us, but Carson Wentz is back. The defense is formidable, but they've given up some big plays in our offense. With Kirk Cousins in there, we always have a chance, whether we have a running game or not. The running game, I think, is tied to the offensive line. We've had injuries, new people, shuffling people, kind of what we've been doing the last couple of years. When will it end? When will these injuries end? When will we solidify a line that we can count on and not have to play musical chairs and Humpty Dumpty? But I think, give the running game a chance. I know it's been bad, but things can change in a dime. And even if Kirk Cousins has to be Air Cousins, he always keeps us in the game. We have great receivers. Thielen, Diggs, Laquan Treadwell on that final drive last week made 2 key throws. He dropped one earlier, but let's focus on what he did right. The coaches obviously see something, and I think he'll come along. We got that Robinson guy. Get him in there. Maybe we fool their defense by having 4 receivers. We got Rudolph. We got Morgan. So we always have a chance. And with Pat Elefine being back, that will help the offensive line one step at a time. We were 2-2 last year. We're 1-2-1 this year. We're only a half game off of last year. We ended up 13-3 NFC champs. Don't panic yet. On to the Twins. I have to say this. Paul Molitor, out. The guy who won Manager of the Year, who's a Hall of Famer, who set every record known to man, a World Series Hall of Fame, a guy with his knowledge was kind of cast aside. And you think, oh my God, is Falvey and Levine, are they a bunch of idiots? But let's face it, they want their own people in there. They were told that you're going to have Molitor, who's a great manager, great person. But they're saying, I think from what I'm reading and hearing, they want their own person, maybe somebody younger, someone who's totally into analytics from day one, not just I'll adapt like Molitor did, but also they want a different approach to the younger guys, and specifically Sanyo and Buxton in the minor leagues. I don't think, from what I can tell, that they were happy with how Molitor and company managed Buxton, managed Sanyo. They didn't put as much emphasis on healthy and weight, and one of the managers they're considering, I think he's a bench coach for the Cubs. I want to say, I could be wrong, but or maybe the Mets, might be the Mets. Anyways, he's totally into this fitness lifestyle. Maybe they'll give that more weight. I know they have high expectations, and you know what happens when, you got potential superstars coming up and they don't perform. They blame the manager, and this is Molitor's case. I think Levine and Falvey just said, you know what, we want our own guy in here, start from scratch. You want us to rebuild, then let us rebuild all the way. It sucks for Molitor. He's always going to be in the hearts of Minnesotans. I know he's got a job offer. We'll see if he takes it. My thing is, I think he should not take it, because this is the direction they're going. They're already kind of, I say, cast him aside a little bit. But you know what? Gardenhire in Detroit maybe could use a good bench coach, a guy with knowledge and managerial experience. Why not? Think about it. Well, today's episode is short. Time is short today. So that's it. And thanks for watching Sports Blabb.